FM.
He survived, but it seems to be a matter of pure luck. But a fare didn't end in death for a cab driver early this morning in Brooklyn.
54-year-old Prince Ezenekwe spoke at the New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers headquarters, his right cheek bandaged.
I'm the luckiest man alive. I'm the luckiest man alive.
Just hours after a passenger he picked up in the middle of the night in Canarsie began arguing with him.
He said, don't make me kill you. Now, when he step out the car, he says, I will have to kill you. What I saw is the gun pointing straight at my head, at point blank.
As Ezenekwe stepped on the gas, he said the man fired, grazing his cheek. The bullet lodged in the door. Marla Diamond, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in the Bronx.
New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the alleged gunman's arrest. Again, the victim, that 54-year-old driver, shot with his in that incident at East 101st Street and Flatlands Avenue. That was in Canarsie around 1:40 this morning. If you have any info to help out police. Congestion pricing has raised more than $100 million in its first 2 months. $100 million. The toll started on the 5th of January, and the MTA says it took in $52 million for the month of February. The Trump administration wants to kill off the program, extending a deadline to turn the cameras off by 1 month. The number of vehicles entering the congestion pricing zone in February was 2% higher than it was in January. The MTA is expanding the use of bus cameras, adding them to the M2 and M4 routes in Manhattan. Starting on April 28th, vehicles caught by the cameras improperly using bus lanes, blocking bus stops, or illegally double parked will get a warning notice in the mail. Samir Nair, Chief Officer for Zero Emissions Fleet Transformation, tells 1010 Wins the bus routes where the cameras are already in service are reaping some early dividends.
We are starting to see some amazing benefits. We see an average of 5% speed improvements across the system on top of the gains that we see on bus lanes and busways. We are seeing a 20% reduction in collision. That's the average reduction in collision across these routes.
After a 60-day warning period, drivers not following the rules are going to get hit with summonses starting at $50 and rising to $250 if you're a repeat violator. The feds are adding new charges against Columbia University protest leader Mahmoud Khalil. The Department of Justice says that Khalil broke the law by omitting details on his residency application, including not reporting work for the Syria office in the British Embassy in Beirut. In new court documents, federal prosecutors argue that misrepresentations in this context are not protected speech, adding that there is an independent basis now to justify removal. Columbia University students, meanwhile, are back on campus after the institution enacted a number of policy changes to restore hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funding. The changes in disciplinary policies include restricting protests, banning masks, and sanctioning student groups in violation. The school will also review its Middle East Studies programs and admission. The move not sitting well for professors, though.
Columbia University last year became the epicenter of demonstrations, encampment protests, and counter-protests. Today, professors called this a vigil, saying school leadership caved to President Trump's demands.
Should the Trump administration dictate what is taught in Columbia's Middle East, South Asian, and African Studies Department?
No! Earlier this month, the Trump administration pulled $400 million in research grants and other funding over how the university handled protests. Friday, the university agreed to implement a host of policy changes demanded by the administration, including the banning of masks on campus.
That's Matt Piper reporting with that story. A better day on Wall Street today. Wins News Time 326. Let's get the rundown right now. Your Bloomberg Money Watch live with Andrew O'Day.
Word from the Trump White House that tariffs are still coming, but could be smaller and more targeted. Has helped promote today's rally for stocks. That comes with a strong assist from big gains for tech shares. Right now, the Dow up more than 1%, 571. NASDAQ up more than 2%, 387. S&P up 95. That's more than 1.5%. Since its founding 18 years ago, 23andMe has processed saliva samples from more than 15 million people. The company's long-term revenue plan included getting many of those 15 million to become annual subscribers to health and genetic updates. But only 550,000 ever became subscribers. Not enough to pay the bills, and that's what, along with fallout from a data breach affecting millions of people, has landed 23andMe in bankruptcy with the deadline to sell itself by May 7th, or likely liquidate. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. Badger Dave, 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
Hi, I'm Steve Harris, founder of Harris Law. When Tina went to her storage unit, she slipped on a puddle and broke her hip. We got her $800,000. I'll tell you how right after this.
Have you been the victim of negligence or malpractice? Harris Law, New York's premier injury law firm, is a tough, dedicated legal team that will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call 212-593-7600 or visit harrislawnyc.com.
Tina's storage unit had an air conditioner that leaked from condensation. Although technicians made 3 service calls, maintenance records showed that each visit lasted less than 10 minutes. Since the condensation didn't start until after they left, the issue was never resolved. That's how we proved negligence, and that's how we got Tina $800,000.
Call Harris Law today, 212-593-7600 or harrislawnyc.com. The consultation is free. The compensation could be millions.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-595-1395. Don't lose hope. TRA can alleviate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ to the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-595-1395. That's 800-595-1395. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now would be a great time to clean out your garage and donate that old car to Cars for Kids. See how easy it is. Call today, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or online at carsforkids.com.
Well, the rain is still coming down. The good thing, though, is with all the sidewalk sheds around here, in some neighborhoods, you don't even need to bring an umbrella if you're heading out this afternoon. We're heading for a high of 54. There should be some clearing. The rain is winding down from west to east across the area. Down to 43 tonight. Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with clouds, but then some rain comes back tomorrow night as we head for a high of 57 degrees. We have the full details on your AccuWeather forecast that's straight ahead. Right now, we do have that light rain in Manhattan right now. Winds at the south-southwest at 5, gusting to about 5 miles an hour, so fairly mild, 47 right now. I'm Paul Murnane. Winds News Time, 3:30.
Good afternoon. I'm Lori Medden. Mayor Adams says you will continue to see a D next to his name.
After previously saying the Democratic Party left him, Mayor Adams will stick with the Democrats for his re-election bid. And to those who say he hasn't been campaigning...
Is there a Webster definition of what being on the campaign trail is? I was in the church yesterday talking to voters. I'm out in the streets all the time talking to voters. And so I'm going to continue.
Adams has not had any official campaign events yet. He criticized who figures to be his toughest opponent, Andrew Cuomo, on the former governor's management of the pandemic.
There was racial disparity in how he dealt with even vaccines. You know, black and brown communities were not being fairly vaccinated.
Mac Rosenberg, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Winds News Time, 3:31. Time now for traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
Here is the ride on Manhattan's east side. Northbound FDR Drive is crawling from just before Waterside Plaza all the way on up towards the area of East 96th Street. And then you got to deal with the Harlem River Drive. They got rid of the breakdown in the middle lane on the Harlem River Drive in the 160s, but right at the split on the northbound Harlem River Drive for the George and Dykeman Street, the 2 right lanes are shut because of a crash. The northbound West Side Highway is just a whole lot better. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound George, fog, the big factor right now. Not a whole lot of traffic backup, but visibility to be the main concern. Cross Bronx, very slow getting out from Castle Hill Avenue. Again, the west side, your winner. Lincoln, no more than a few either way. Holland Tunnel, 15 or so on the outbound ride. Outbound northbound covered roadway and inbound skyway are slow in Newark Bay. It's going to be a much better play. Whitestone Expressway is jammed up either way through Linden Place, so the Clearview, especially northbound, better into the Bronx. Queensbound Throgsneck starting to slow. The Queensbound RFK, best of it, back into Queens out of the Bronx. And if you're in a jam, call the Barnes Firm traffic tip line at 844-JAM-1010. That's 844-JAM-1010. Traffic is sponsored by the Barnes Firm. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
I'm attorney Rich Barnes. If you've been in a car crash, choosing the right firm is crucial to get the help you need and the best result possible.
Barnes Firm, injury attorneys, 1-800-8 million.
Manhattan, Long Island.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Matt Benz.
And still dealing with the gloom out there this afternoon with some rain and some fog, but that will come to an end here from west to east. As we head through this afternoon and into this evening, it will linger the longest, so across Connecticut and Long Island. Otherwise, tonight turning out mainly clear with a low 43. Tomorrow, breezy, sunshine, some clouds. It should be a nice day, high 57. Into tomorrow night, clouds will return. A little bit of rain in the area late at night, especially down the Jersey Shore and across Long Island with a low 41. Perhaps a shower or two to start the day in the morning, especially east of the city. Otherwise, breezy as clouds break for some sunshine. Could see another shower in spots for the afternoon with a high 50. Breezy into Thursday, but dry with a high of 51. Right now, it's 46 degrees in Central Park with light rain falling. Repeating the current temperature is 46, cooling down to 43 tonight in Midtown. Meteorologist Matt Benz on New York's weather station, and in Winds on 92.3 FM.
With Amazon Business, Smart Business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
President Trump appoints his former personal attorney to a top post in the Garden State.
Alina Habba says she's honored to serve as interim U.S. Attorney for New Jersey.
Making sure that we further the president's agenda of putting America first, cleaning up mess, and going after the people that we should be going after.
She says her home state has been neglected.
There is corruption, there is injustice, and there is a heavy amount of crime.
And she didn't have kind words for New Jersey's Democratic leadership.
I think Cory Booker and Governor Murphy have failed the state of New Jersey.
Correspondent Stacey Lynn. It's Women's History Month, but women will need more than 30 days to make up the gender pay gap. A report by the New York State Comptroller, Thomas DiNapoli, found that women in New York need 87 cents on the dollar compared to men in 2023. If you do the math, that means women have to work an extra 53 days to make up the difference. Median earnings for women working full-time were $62,111 compared to $71,168 for men. It was once a Silicon Valley darling, but 23andMe has now filed for bankruptcy.
The filing comes after a series of cutbacks, several attempts to sell the company, and finally the resignation of CEO Ann Wojcicki. The cutbacks include 40% reduction in workforce, about 200 employees, and an end to the development of gene therapies. Recent offers were well below its current stock value. The company says it has between $100 and $500 million in assets and liabilities. It recently agreed to pay about $30 million to settle a suit over a data breach.
Correspondent Peter King. The health risks associated with childhood obesity continue to grow.
A study by the European Congress on Obesity found kids who were overweight or obese had an increased risk as an adult of getting chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. The risk was 65% higher for women with obesity and 40% higher for men with obesity.
Correspondent Michael George. Heathrow Airport facing some turbulence about the fire that knocked out a substation and with it shut down Europe's busiest air hub for a day. Britain's energy system operator is suggesting the airport had enough power from other sources to continue operations, but Heathrow authorities are defending their actions this afternoon, saying critical systems were required to safely power down and then safely reboot. More than 1,300 flights were canceled, in addition to causing travel turmoil for thousands of passengers. Industry experts say the shutdown will cost airlines tens of millions of dollars. 46 degrees now. We still have some rain coming down here in the city. The showers will ease up later tonight. We're going down to 43 degrees. Miley talking about her new album. That story's next.
This is New Jersey Human Services Commissioner Sarah Edelman. On
health aides and direct support professionals are in high demand, and this important part of our workforce is essential in helping older adults and individuals with disabilities to live active, engaged lives. New Jersey Human Services can help connect you with jobs and training in these critical and rewarding fields. Make a difference in the lives of others while empowering your own future. Visit jobsthatcare.nj.gov today. That's jobsthatcare.nj.gov.
Thinking of selling your home? Don't just sell out, max out. Sell your home once and get paid twice. Here's how it works. Max Out Homes buys distressed homes at their current market value, offering an immediate payment. No delays, no hassle. Once that's done, our team of experts will maximize your home's value and pay you a piece of the profit. For more information, call 800-800-5070. That's 800-800-5070. Whether we rehab and resell, expand, or even rent, we handle it all. And you get a percentage of the profit. We buy homes in poor condition, foreclosure, inherited homes, homes with reverse mortgages, homes with non-paying tenants, even land. Call us now, 800-800-5070. Remember, sell once, get paid twice with Max Out Homes. Call 800-800-5070. That's 800-800-5070. Or visit maxouthomes.com. If you're a wholesaler, investor, realtor, or lawyer, we want to work with you. Call 800-800-5070. Results there. Conditions apply.
Wednesday time, 3:38 now. 1010 wins entertainment. Miley Cyrus has something beautiful on the way. That's the title of her upcoming visual album that drops May 30th. Cyrus says the album will feature 13 original tracks and is now available for pre-order. Shelton, Lainey Wilson, and Eric Church will perform at this year's Academy of Country Music Awards, which will stream live from Texas on Prime Video May 8th.
Entertainment on 1010 Wins is sponsored by Shulman & Hill, New York's injury lawyers.
Go to hurtny.com.
That's hurtny.com.
Join the Candy Crush All-Stars Tournament now. Make it to the live final for your chance to win a share of $1 million. Play Candy Crush now. Selected level 5 plus 18 plus. In-game event ends 0300 EDT 27 April. Win the in-game event. Receive an invite to the live contest in June in California. Requires U.S. travel. Terms and conditions visit 2.game.com/terms.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Oh, that's a lot of glitter paint.
Let's trade lives. At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone. Any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Just gotta get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Gwen Stefani and Lainey Wilson headline Odyssey's leading ladies concert at Brooklyn's King's Theater. And we want you to be there. Listen all this week for your chance to win tickets.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 46 degrees at 3:40. I'm Lori Martin. And here's what's happening. A livery driver says he's the luckiest man alive after surviving being shot in the face by a passenger in Canarsie. The suspect remains at large. Federal prosecutors say Nadine and Robert Menendez were partners in crime as opening statements get underway in the trial of the former senator's wife. Nassau Democrats accuse Republican County Exec Bruce Blakeman of trying to stint on emergency response money in their districts. An Upper West Side woman sentenced to 20 years behind bars for the manslaughter death of her special needs teenage cousin. Amy Schumer has a house in Brooklyn she'd like to sell you for $14 million. On Wall Street this hour, the Dow is up, way up, 587 points. 1010 Wins AccuWeather says, clearing tonight, low 43, sunny and breezy tomorrow, high 57, but we may see a few showers late tomorrow night. Wins News Time, 3:30. 8:41. Time now for traffic and transit. From the Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com Traffic Center, here's Greg Rice.
A big trouble right now on Long Island. Here's what we see on Long Island. State 3 westbound Southern State at Route 110. You got a crash. Couple of lanes are out. It's a mess all the way back to Straight Path. Eastbound Southern State is already slow with the rain and rush hour from Franklin Avenue out to 110. It's only going to get worse. Sunrise Highway, not a terrible idea. LA starting to slow east from Queens over to routes 106 and 107. Again to Bagatelle Road, and not easy on the northern either over to Searingtown Road and east of the Meadowbrook getting out to the Seaford Oyster Bay. Here is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. City-bound side of the George Washington Bridge. Good ride for the upper and lower visibility going to be the issue, but everything else is fine. Crosswalks to the west of it out from Castle Hill Avenue. Harlem River Drive northbound right at the street from George. They've got that crash pretty much off to the side. Things are getting better. Lincoln, no more than a few minutes in either direction. Over at the Holland Tunnel, about 15 to 20 out. The outbound Covered Roadway and inbound Skyway are starting to slow, so the Newark Bay Extension, that's going to be a much better idea. Looks like trouble en route to the RFK Bridge, Bronxtown, leaving Queens. On the westbound Grand Central Parkway, just as you get out towards the RFK, looks like we're dealing with a crash. That's why you're slow from LaGuardia. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
A livery driver who survived a terrifying incident in Brooklyn is on the mend this afternoon, but the search continues for the suspect who shot him in the face during a pickup in Canarsie.
54-year-old Prince Ezenekwe spoke at the New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers headquarters, his right cheek bandaged.
I'm the luckiest man alive. I'm the luckiest man alive.
Just hours after a passenger he'd picked up in the middle of the night in Canarsie began arguing with him.
He said, don't make me kill you. Now, when he step out of the car, he says, I will have to kill you. What I saw is the gun pointing straight at my head, at point blank.
As Ezenekwe stepped on the gas, he said the man fired, grazing his cheek. The bullet lodged in the door. Marla Diamond, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in the Bronx.
Game over for a marine park facility that has been a mainstay of the community for generations.
For years, Aviator Sports at Event Center has been home to young athletes playing hockey, gymnastics, and volleyball. But now they're saying that they're closing their doors come April 14th, at least for their indoor programs. The management at Aviator says they're also in discussions with National Park Service to try and at least keep the outdoor facilities open for the fall 2025 season. But right now, it is uncertain whether or not that is going to happen. One thing is certain, Brooklyn young athletes and parents feel that their kids are losing more than just a sports facility. They're losing a home where they learned how to play these sports and compete. Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
The New York City Council is raising questions about Mayor Adams' mental health policies. He's raising questions about their report.
People in mental health crisis, taken off the streets against their will, often don't get long-term help. That's the big finding in the City Council's report. But Mayor Adams says it's not that easy.
People say this person is on the street dealing with severe mental health issues. Why don't you put them into permanent housing? Because they're not ready to know how to turn on their electricity, turn on their gas, make sure that the place is livable.
The City Council says the city needs to invest more in mental health programs like mobile treatment and community clubhouses. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
They were partners in crime. That's what a federal prosecutor told the jury in the bribery case of Nadine Menendez, wife of former Senator Bob Menendez, who was convicted of the same charges. During opening statements today, the prosecutor told jurors that Nadine Menendez did the dirty work for the New Jersey Democrat. Nadine Menendez is being tried separately after she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Robert Menendez was sentenced to 11 years behind bars and is scheduled to report to prison in June. Tensions were heated in Nassau County over just who gets funding for what.
Crass political games being made by the Democrats.
Democrat legislators put a legal agreement in front of Republican Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman to promise he will fund certain police and fire districts.
Sit down. This is my show.
The two sides are arguing after the Democrats, including Seth Kozlow, say they refuse to vote to approve the capital budget because they They believe Blakeman only funds Republican-run districts.
There's no such thing as Democratic or Republican fires.
Kozlow says $1 million in funding has not been approved for some fire and police districts run by Democrats. Sophia Hall, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Mineola, Long Island.
20 years behind bars. That's the sentence for an Upper West Side woman convicted of manslaughter for the death of her 15-year-old cousin with special needs. Prosecutors say Jeanette Booker repeatedly beat and emotionally abused Jalen McConnell.